turned it over to authorities? Turned it over to who are you turning it over to? Are you allowed to say?
I've been asked by the January 6th committee to turn their.
I mean, I don't know that you get to stop that anyway.
Well, if they subpoenaed them, it would be a very different story.
Well, they're going to now. They know about them. They know they exist. They know you have them. I think they're going there either way.
A pretty big revelation there from an attorney for the parents of a Sandy Hook victim, telling the judge the January 6th committee has requested a copy of the cell phone records of conspiracy theorist and Trump ally Alex Jones. Records, he says, were sent to him by mistake from Jones's attorney. It's raising new questions about what those 2 years' worth of records could show about what Alex Jones knew about January 6th, months after he met with the committee under a subpoena over his efforts to spread election lies, which Jones had said he pleaded the fifth almost 100 times. Here's what that lawyer told NBC News about the January 6th request and Jones's failed attempt for mistrial today.
Well, it is interesting to me that suddenly early this morning, I guess after they went home and reviewed what's in that phone, they decided to file an emergency motion. And that motion sought to prevent me from turning those text messages over to the January 6th committee. I will tell you and the world right now that I've only had the phone free and clear for a matter of 48 hours. There's 2.3 gigs on it. I don't know fully what's on it. I don't know if Mr. Jones has reason to be alarmed.
Joining us now, Nick Confessore, New York Times political and investigative reporter, also an MSNBC political analyst, and MSNBC legal analyst. Katie Phang is here. I'm so glad. An attorney and host of the Katie Phang Show on MSNBC and Peacock. Katie, let's start with you. The New York Times reports that the lawyer suing Jones says they fully intend on cooperating with law enforcement and U.S. government officials interested in seeing these emails and the materials on them. What's the legal process for the January 6th committee to get their hands on those records?
Yeah, so, Michael, you're going to see a subpoena that's going to come from the 1-6 committee. And this may be a bummer for some people to hear, but the process will allow for Alex Jones to assert any objections over what he deems to be materials that are contained within that cell phone going back as far as 2 years from what we've heard from the reporting that he thinks should not be turned over. What's problematic, though, is this idea that it's almost like these materials were abandoned. It's the idea if you, Michael, were to put something incriminating in your garbage and leave it out on the street and it got picked up by somebody, it's now in the possession of a third party. In this instance, Alex Jones's lawyer turned over this material. He's now claiming through this emergency motion that he filed with the court today that it should have been turned back over to him being Alex Jones's attorney. At the end of the day, the court hasn't ruled on it, but there's going to be an opportunity for Jones to object. But what's really concerning, Michael, is if I'm Alex Jones, I'm going to be worried about the perjury police as well as the 1-6 committee. So you have the specter of the 1-6 committee coming after you, getting the information that you asserted the Fifth Amendment 100 times over, failing to disclose. But then you also have this rank perjury that has happened by Alex Jones repeatedly through the course of this litigation. And so Alex Jones really needs to be watching his six because there is a lot of people breathing heavily down his back to be able to get information that's probably contained within those text messages and those emails.
So to Katie's point, Nick, I mean, Alex Jones is in a bit of a hot mess. He's told the January 6th committee that, they had everything, right? Well, clearly not. So what could these texts reveal to congressional investigators from your reporting?
Well, look, as we know, he played a key role in organizing the legal rally at the Ellipse, the Stop the Steele rally, helping arrange funding for it on January 6th. And, of course, it was that rally that kind of metastasized into the Capitol riot. He has disclaimed any knowledge of violence or planned attacks, but it's among the questions that the committee had wanted to ask him in January when he pleaded the fifth 100 times, according to his own account, if he had knowledge of impending violence. He has said no in public, but there was a guest host on his show who talked about the need to storm the Capitol. So again, as always, and so often in this investigation, it's about trying to find out if the people who organized the rally at the Ellipse actually had something more in mind, made plans for it, and had plans to violently overthrow the certification of the election.
You would think if these folks weren't doing anything wrong or concerned about doing anything wrong, they'd be a little bit more forthcoming. So, Katie, here is Alex Jones on his InfoWars show on why he says he pleaded the Fifth to the January 6th committee back in January.
The questions were overall pretty reasonable, and I wanted to answer the questions. But at the same time, it's a good thing I didn't, because I'm the type that tries to answer things correctly, even if I don't know all the answers, and they can then try to claim that that's perjury.
So Jones was caught obviously perjuring himself in the Sandy Hook case anyway. So do you think we'll see some perjury charges coming from this?
I mean, it depends, right? It depends if a prosecuting authority thinks that it's worth the time to go after Alex Jones. I think the other concern Alex Jones has is you've got this civil case. He testified. He's perjured himself. Now you have a situation where the parent company for InfoWars filed for bankruptcy. But, Michael, those bankruptcy filings are also accompanied by oaths that say that under penalties of perjury, the information contained within them is true. And so Alex Jones has also been accused by the parents of the Sandy Hook victims of playing fast and loose with fraudulent transfers of money to evade creditors, such as the potential plaintiffs in these cases and other cases. And so Alex Jones has a lot of exposure when it comes to perjury, and it doesn't just come from what has happened in that Texas courtroom thus far.
Nick, this week has been so much lying by Alex Jones. What does it say that this person has any platform or power at all, especially with the American people, to get them to buy into all of this?
Well, it says that there's a huge market for people who want to be lied to. He lied for profit for years. He made as much as $800,000 a day off of lying to his audience and stirring them up and spreading conspiracy theories about some innocent people, including the poor kids who died at Sandy Hook and their parents. It is the lowest form of media I can imagine, and now he's been forced to admit it. I think it's a signal moment in our age of disinformation, of lying for profit, that Alex Jones, a mogul of mendacity, the king of this industry, has been forced on the stand to finally admit what everybody with any sense already knows, which is that Sandy Hook was real and happened. He finally had to admit it under oath.
Nick Confessori and Katie Fang, thank you both very, very much. Preparing for the next election, yesterday's wins from election deniers in key swing states raising the alarm that free and fair contests may now just be a thing of the past.